Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rave Green TV. And this is going to be your preview for this weekend's match between Austin FC and the Seattle Sounders. We played earlier on in the season. It ended 1-1. And we also did a preview earlier on in the season with We Are Austin TV. And they're back again for another preview because obviously we love our friends over in Austin and we're big fans of Austin FC because they're just a good club. They have great people and they have great players and they have people like Hernan next to me over here. First and foremost, welcome back on. And I'm excited to do another preview with you guys.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure to be here. You know, we were here once, back again, baby.
I know, except tides have very much turned since the last time we were both on here. Obviously, Seattle, they didn't have a great start to the season. We're fighting for a CCL trophy, won it. And now Austin FC are fighting for a supporter shield trophy. And Seattle are scraping for their lives to make the playoffs. So this game has a lot of interesting dynamics and storylines behind it. But before we get into it, boys and girls, don't forget, if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe, smash the like button, and, you know, make sure you have those post notifications on, because if you're not, then you won't know when we upload. You're just going to be scrolling through that subscription box. So make sure you guys do that. And so let's just jump into this preview. I mean, talking about Austin FC, you guys have been so good. So let's first talk about Austin. How have these guys been so good, and why are Seattle so bad?
What has made Austin FC so good this season, man? I mean, it's pretty simple. Sebastian Driussi came into this team, completely transformed this club. There's a bit of a race right now, him and Mukhtar from Nashville. We did take the L against them last match, and Mukhtar jumped Driussi, but luckily for us, we have a rematch against them September 17th. Coming later this month, and that's going to be very fun to see what happens. But you asked me what makes Austin FC better this season, and like I said, Driussi, and the fact that he can make all the players around him better. This guy creates so many chances. He's a fighter. He's there for everything. He doesn't let anything go. He fights until the very end. He scored multiple goals where you think, man, where is this guy getting these goals out of? Because there was one famous goal. I think it was against the Sporting Kansas City, where you'd think that the ball was going to go out of the touchline. He rescues it and just pokes it into the goal. You know, it's things like that make him stand out. And by him standing out, by him being him playing his role, this team is just better, man. Everybody around him sees how good he is, and they realize that they need to elevate their game. So easy for me, bro. So Sebastian Driussi.
Right now, you guys are in second place in the Western Conference, and you guys are kind of you're borderline in the supporter shield race with Philadelphia and LAFC. Before the season, you'd probably easily take the position you guys are in. Is it a little bit of a bummer that realistically, I don't think you guys will win it, but you were in that race for a while, or it doesn't really matter because you guys are making the playoffs anyway and are going to be in a high seed? So you'll host as many playoff home games as far as you guys go in the competition.
See, that's also one of the big questions, man, that we've also asked ourselves a lot is, what do we want from this season? You know, because at one moment in time, that shield was there. You know, we beat LA, we smacked LAFC, absolutely demolished them. But then out of nowhere, we went into a terrible run. Like we were talking earlier, we lost to Portland, we lost to Nashville, and that kind of just put the shield back into that big gap that was there. You know, there's once again a 9-point gap. And it really just puts the shield out of reach. So the question here is, would you rather go into the playoffs with players that are completely gassed because you pushed for that shield that's kind of not really going to happen? Or would you rather rotate players, maybe drop one spot, go into that third seed, but go into the playoffs with a fully rested team? So if you ask me, what do I want at the end of the season, is I want playoffs secured, and I want to have a good performance in the playoffs. Anything can happen in the playoffs. This is the MLS, right? And the shield is important. It does have its value, but maybe Austin FC is better off focusing on just the MLS playoffs right now. We don't have that depth. Our squad isn't super, super deep like some other teams in this league. So maybe just focusing on the playoffs should be our best move.
Yeah, because I think Austin can really be, I mean, we've never seen Q2 host a playoff game. And I know I am excited to see what happens when they do host a playoff game. I would even be tempted, I'd even go this far, to fly to Austin just to see that first playoff game in Q2 Stadium, because I know it will be insane, and I know these Austin fans will be up for it and will be supporting this team. But we have seen on many occasions, I think a good example was, I believe it was 2018 when LAFC came into the league. They obviously were a house on fire team. Carlos Vela was really good. It wasn't like his record-breaking year in 2019, and they were hosting RSL, and everyone thought, oh, cakewalk. They're going to absolutely smack up RSL. They're at home. They're at Bank of California Stadium. It'll be easy. And then I think it was on Halloween, RSL came out and stunned everyone and won the game. So that's going to be, I think, a key when that time comes, is preluding a lot to when that chapter opens up for Austin FC. Can they handle that pressure of being the host, being in the playoffs? Because it is different. There's a different mentality to it. And some players step up in the playoffs. Some players step up in the regular season, but don't step up in playoffs. Some people don't necessarily step up in the regular season, but then step up in the playoffs. So it just depends what kind of team we see from Austin in that regard. But in regards to the Sounders, I know obviously that's my specialty, but outside looking in, they're not in a playoff spot. They've been struggling significantly for the past, 12 games? What has that been like, looking from the Austin camp, looking at Seattle in this game?
Well, Seattle right now is in 10th spot in the Western Conference. If I'm not mistaken, that's not really where Seattle is used to be, right? We know what kind of team Seattle is. We know the history. Everybody knows it. You know it, right? But in the Austin FC camp, especially around, the guys at We Are Austin TV, Bali, he says, I don't want to hear any Austin FC feel confident to be playing a 10th place team, because we struggled this season against last place teams, against San Jose and also against Sporting Kansas City, who have been bottom of the table. We've struggled against them. So the fact that, we're in second place, and we're playing a 10th place team, that really shouldn't mean anything to Austin FC fans, because we should go into that game wanting to beat them, yes, but we should also know that if we give Seattle players any bit of space, any bit of chance, they're going to make you pay. And the past couple of games, we've seen the Austin FC's defense, their defenders, their center backs mainly, they've paid a lot, bro. They've paid a lot. So we really need to know our opponent. And if we get a chance, completely murder Seattle. Do not give them a chance. Do not give Seattle any chance at all, because you guys came back against, who was that? Against Houston recently, didn't you? If you let them in the last 20 minutes, they have quality players that can come back and bite you.
I mean, I hope that's the case. And I think as well, what's riding on this game for Austin is, I mean, we've only played, I believe, one time at Lumen Field prior to this game. They haven't won Austin yet. And so I think maybe it would be a good time to already break that duck, get the monkey off the team's back and be like, yeah, we can go to Seattle and win. And I think if there's any good time to do it, I think it's right now. And it has been frustrating in a Seattle sense. These 12 games, 10, 12 games, we're just seeing this team lose. And yes, they're only by like 1 goal margins. You could say it's unlucky. It's the ref's fault, X, Y, and Z. But the team is not in any of these matches. They're getting played off the park, and it's going to be scary. In my opinion, I think it's scary to imagine Derusi, Aruti, whoever running at this defense. I'm kind of scared. But granted, like you said, you guys have been losing against teams that are farther down the table. So maybe this could be an opportunity for Seattle to pounce on it, because the reality is Seattle have to win out all their remaining games for any hope of making a playoff spot. I don't think it'll happen, but that's the hope. That's what we're hoping for. So for Austin, it's going to be, can they keep firing on all cylinders? This could be a stat pad game for them, but Seattle, we saw them win, and Austin have lost their previous 2 games. I don't think it really means shit in my opinion, but that's just the facts. That's what's laid on the table. But I'm kind of scared of Austin FC.
Well, I don't want to give you or any more Seattle Sounders fans any hope, but you did mention Maxi earlier, and Maxi has been very dangerous for Austin FC. He's hot and he's cold some games. He has his moments, but he did pick up an injury against Portland, a hamstring injury, which sidelined him against Nashville. That is something that Austin FC fans say mainly was the cause, that we didn't have anything in attack versus Nashville. So we got slapped 3-0. Maxi did not play that game, but Josh Wolf did confirm after the Nashville game that Maxi's injury was not as severe as some fans thought. And today in the morning, Austin FC posted some pictures of the training, and it showed Maxi Urruti on the training grounds training with the rest of the team. So is he going to make it versus Seattle? I'm not sure. Is Josh Wolf going to risk him? Is he going to rest him? It's going to be very interesting to see. And it's also important to mention that last game, our pretty much backup striker, the striker that came off the bench, Musa Jite, he picked up a double booking. So he's going to be out. So right now, at the moment, Austin FC has one striker that's 100% ready to go, and that's Danny Houston. So I don't know. Hopefully Maxi can make it. I'm praying Maxi or Rudy can make it. If not, Danny Houston is going to have to pull something out of the bag. If not, Drusi, masterclass hat trick against Seattle. I don't know. It's going to be tough.
You know, based off the Sounders' track record this season, they have been charity FC. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Danny Houston, if he does play, he might get a goal or two based off of some of the players that the Sounders have let score on them. That will kind of be the interesting part. But going into this game, what are we expecting? What is Austin hoping for out of this game?
Well, definitely we're going to need the ball because Austin FC loves to have the ball. A lot of the teams let us have the ball, and they know the recipe to beat Austin is to let them have the ball, let them come forward, and just counterattack because they know that our back line is kind of slow and we get cut up the field a lot. So Austin FC has to be in control of the game, but the most important part of it, we have to score first. If we get that first goal, it's a lot easier for the players to control the match mentally. That's what we've seen this season. We have came back, but recently, man, it's been tough because the players look gassed. They look really tired. So if we can get that first goal and control it from the get-go and Josh Wolf can make his subs that he likes to make, I think we'll be good. We'll be good. And of course, like I said, if Maxi can play, fantastic.
The best vengeance Austin could get is last time Seattle brought the kids to beating this team last year. And as if Austin can come to Seattle, it basically, I mean, if Seattle lose this, 1000%, their playoff hopes are dead and buried. Like Austin could literally be the team that says, hey, Seattle, we're the team that ended your historic streak of always making the playoffs at your home turf. So that's kind of the part that's scary to me. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. I know I'm really down in the dumps, but the Houston game gave me a little bit of optimism. I think we played a really good second half, but if I'm basing off of all of our recent games, we haven't been good. And this Austin team is just so good. I just don't know. I don't know how we're going to nullify Sebastian Derusi. Imagine him just running at our defense. Oh man, I'm so scared. Even Fagundes, and if Aruti plays, it's going to be even worse. Oh, it's a recipe for disaster possibly, but.
Sorry, bro, just real quick. You did mention somebody that I have to talk about. You mentioned Dieguito Fagundes. Oh my God, Diego Fagundes and his free kicks, bro. Seattle better watch out. They better watch out and not commit any silly fouls right at the edge of the box because Fagundes has shown he has quality from those free kicks. And also Austin FC's new DP is looking to find form. He maybe go at that Seattle defense you were talking about earlier. So we're going to have to find out.
What's your score prediction?
We were talking about that on the podcast yesterday whenever we were shooting. My score prediction, mate, I didn't get mine in on the podcast. I got it from the guys, but I'm going to go with an Austin FC 2-1, bro.
I'm going to be optimistic because I was optimistic in the last preview we did where I said we could I hate this prediction I made. I said, because I wasn't thinking with my head, I was thinking with my heart when we were playing in the Portland preview. I said we would win 4-2. Obviously, we weren't even remotely close to scoring 4 goals in that game. I'm going to go with Seattle Sounders will score really early on in this game and park the bus and win 1-0. And I would not be surprised if it's like somehow like Austin of like 80-70% possession, hit the woodwork a couple of times, and Stefan Frei stands on his head because he's been our best player this season. That's what I'm going to go with. 1-0, just a squeaky bum match from the Sounders to keep those playoff hopes alive, similar to the game against Houston, just squeaky bumming a win.
Sorry, just one more thing, bro. You want to know what's crazy? It sounded like you just described that Portland match that we just played. Because one thing, yes, we lost against Portland, but we went down creating chances. We hit the woodwork. We hit the post. Everybody had chances. But in the MLS, if you don't take your chances, like you said, just one goal can be enough to get a team by. And that's it. Lights out.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen from Austin this year is sometimes they don't take their chances. So I'm praying to the soccer gods that Austin have one more bad game. Austin can be good for the rest of the season, just not in this game this weekend, because I think Seattle desperately need another 3 points. I know I said that it's most likely dead and buried our playoff hopes, but you know what? 1% chance, I believe, and 99% faith, I think is what the saying is. So that's the ethos I'll be on until the end of the season. But boys and girls, mine and Hernan's opinion only matters so much. Let us know your guys' score predictions in the comments down below. A big shout out to anyone that's coming from We Are Austin TV. As I said, I love the Austin FC fans. I love Austin FC. I think they're a great organization. I have great fans. So I appreciate you guys. And let us know your guys' thoughts going into this game. And boys and girls, if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe, smash the like button on today's video. And I hope you all have a lovely day.